Hey there, it's that time of year again when Adobe releases its major updates. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the updates that are available in Lightroom Classic. So this will be version 15. So what you'll need to do is jump over to the Adobe Cloud platform and start updating your software. Depending on what software you're running, Photoshop, Beta, etc., you will see the updates there. So you will need to select the Lightroom version 15 and update that. I've already updated mine, but you will need to go and update yours to get these new features. You will be prompted to update your catalogue. That's fine. It'll just rename it. You can always go in and just rename your catalogues later if you wish to. Once you've done your update, you will get this screen that comes up. So let's have a little look. The first major update is this assisted culling, which is going to help with culling through your portraits, but other stuff. There's also auto stacking, which could be quite helpful. There is, in the edit updates, there's dust or spot removal, which will be really cool. Can't wait to play with that. There's some performance enhancements, which you will get in all sorts of things right throughout Lightroom. There is also some video updates. I'm not going to go into that too much. There's some tethering improvements as well. And there is some other updates that are available. One of the ones that's really cool that everyone's talking about is the variance. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you how that works. Okay, so let's jump into the big one that everyone's talking about, and this is this variance slider within the point color. So I've got this image here, and I'm going to show you how you can apply it in different scenarios and different genres. So I've got this really pretty still life, and it's all monochrome, so it's all in different variances of pink. But what I can do is I can come on here and I can select a shade of pink. And then you've got your hue, saturation, luminance. Then there's this variance one. So if I go all the way to the left, it is merging them all into more of one color. But if I go all the way over to the right, it is separating the colors more. So if I really wanted to make this more monotone, I would take it all the way to the left. But if I want to have more separation within those color ranges, I would go all the way to the right. So let's have a look at something else. Okay, so I have this image here and I've got quite a bit of variance in the color of the sky. So what I want to do, and I could come down to point color, but I'm going to go into masks. I'll click on that and I'm going to get to my sky mask. Then I'm going to come down to my point color. I'm going to select a mid-range. See how there's a lot more difference there? And this is evening out those tones. Now, apparently, if you want to then go and adjust the saturation or anything like that, you would want to put in a new sky mask. And adjust or lower the saturation depending on what you want to do. So you can use the masks to really improve the color variations in your sky and things like that. So let's go have a look at a portrait. Okay, so I've got this portrait here, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of variation in skin tones and things like that. So I'm going to come back over to masks again. I'm not going to do it to the whole image. It has selected person 1. And that's the only person that's there. So I'm going to select facial skin. And I'm going to ask that to create a mask for that. I'm also going to do teeth. And I'm going to ask Lightroom to create those masks. So this first one is teeth. So I'm just going to double click on that and rename it so that I know what I'm doing. And the other one is face. So I'm going to come into the face, I'm going to come down to point color, I'm going to click a mid-range area, and then I can come down to the variance slider, and you can see where it has softened it all off to the 1. If I go over to the right, it has increased the tones. So you can soften it round and then play with saturation shift and things like that. If I go into the teeth, I'm going to select this again. If I bring that down, that is bringing the teeth more into alignment. So depending on how much you want to do, you can really play around with using the point color variance for landscapes, for macro, for portraits, just about any genre that you can think of. So what's new for portrait photographers? If you're in your library module, you will see this early access assisted culling. Now, it does take a bit to run through all of the images, but once it has done that, you can get it to help you cull your images, working your way through. You can play around with so many different things in here. If you are using products like Aftershoot or something like that for your culling, then you'll sort of understand where this all works, and you can go in and you can decide if you want to reject misfires or exposure issues. You can tell it to stack them, you can select what's in focus, or if you only want eyes open, things like that. If you've never used a culling program before, then this might take a little bit of getting used to, but you can come through, for instance, and you can reject photos without people's eyes in it, or reject if they can't tell. So there's a lot that you can unpack in here, and perhaps when I've had a chance to play with this a little more, then I might do another video just entirely on this assisted culling feature. Okay, some of the other updates that have been done, which are in the remove tool. So if you come into here, so you have got dust removal. And it's just a matter of clicking it. It can take a second or 2 or 10 to run through. And you can see visualize spots there, so if you've got spots that you need to get rid of. But it has done a pretty damn good job of picking up all those sensor spots. So that's actually pretty good. So if I go to before and after, it has done a pretty good job in cleaning all of those up. So that is pretty impressive. The other one that has also been enhanced is the detect objects, not just people, but you can turn that off and you can come in and you can select it yourself. And I want to get rid of that sign. And it has done a pretty good job of that. Could do a little more. And there you have it. So that's the dust removal, which is a huge addition to Lightroom. It just makes it so much easier to have that automated. And the detect objects, if you were detecting people and things like that as well, it does a really good job. Apparently, if you've got reflections and shadows and things like that, the AI in here is much more refined in how it makes those selections. So that's just covering off the main updates that are in Lightroom version 15. There are some more refinements that they've done under the hood. and I'm sure you'll find there's plenty of videos out there that cover some of the other things as well. So as we all get to play with this a bit more, I guess we'll all start putting out some more videos on how you can use this in your workflow. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you have updated your Lightroom, put a comment down below. What have you found that's been really good for your workflow? So until then, I will see you next time. Bye.